Hello, dear researchers. How are you? Worried? A little bit scared? Okay, so that moment in your research where you are writing up the results and the data analysis and interpretation of your work has come. And in here, your research director is most likely to ask you about the process of triangulation. Some of you are already clear about what triangulation means. You know it refers to some sort of triangle where you are supposed to justify or to give account of your data from three different perspectives. This is the three different instruments you applied, or if you applied more, three of the different instruments you applied. So let's think that we are looking at your problem inside of a box. So we have our problem inside our little box, right? Let's see, or let's imagine that each one of these sides has a hole in it that is like a little peephole that we can look our problem through. So if we look through this side, yeah, of course we're going to see the problem from this angle. So we're going to see one side of the problem or the solution. But if we look on this side, then we're going to see a different perspective of the same problem. This is exactly what happens with the process of triangulation. We are looking at our problem from different perspectives or different sides of the box, if you will. So let's see how that works right now. So you've gone through the process, the massive undertaking of collecting your data and coding it, right? So I'm going to share an example based on the thesis work of a student from Institución Universitaria Colombo Americana Única called Simón Ramírez Sáenz. He is about to graduate from our undergraduate program. So in Simon's work, you can see that he had multiple sources of data. He had a perception survey that he coded. He coded the comments part in the survey. He had a diagnostic test that tested English language proficiency. He also had some field notes on students' opinions on the videos. His project is about flipped learning and the use of video to learn grammar. He had a focus group. Here is the transcription because you know the focus group was recorded and so he had to transcribe all that information. Here he has the perception survey 1 and then the pre-course survey. There were teacher reflections which were also transcribed and coded. Yeah. So you have done this process. You have gone inside your data and you have colored coded. You have probably used grounded theory or other theory for identifying patterns and similarities between things that emerge from your data. So you have all these coded things that you later transform into more specific codes, right? So you put them on your document, you start collecting these codes. So we have, for example, that red means grammar through videos, that green means concept of flipped classroom, that purple means grammar in class, light blue means autonomy, brown means peer work, yellow means videos as an alternative, and dark blue means availability of the teacher in the classroom or role of the teacher. This is the coding done of one instrument. But let's see. If we go to, for example, these final notes on students' perceptions of the video or opinions of the video, we are going to see some other information. This information, for example, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story of how this happened. We did this project together with Simon, so I was the head teacher of this class. And so I took notes because we were doing the flip. So every time I taught a grammar structure through by means of a video, then I did an interview, let's say, with students in class. And I created a chart where I took notes of what students said in regards to how long they had watched the video and if they had watched it. What did they do with the video, what students had done with the video, and additional comments. Was the video easy or difficult, etc. So what I did was I handed in all those notes to Simon, who he later coded and organized. So what he did first was I had the information organized by topic, by grammar topic, and what Simon did was organize it by student. He gave a name or code to each one of the students. And he took all the notes from the charts into smaller or different charts organized in a different way in order to have every student's individual information. Then he started playing around with this data. I say playing around, but it's a very serious exercise in which he decided to find, the topics that were covered in the grammar part and student by student. And he organized the time that each student spent with each one of the videos. Then he started making comments. Like the first video wasn't timed. The teacher researcher decided to add the time to it took for students to watch as of the second video. Absent students would not report on the videos they watched since the report was made in the form of an interview in class, so no report there. Yeah, and what did you do with the video? So he transformed these initial multiple tables into one general chart where he could see things more clearly. As he continued with the analysis, he went through how much time in average it took every student to watch the videos. Then he started making conclusions, drawing conclusions about the different data that he found. So only one of the students, based on the data collected in the interview, watched all the videos, and the average time spent on the 7 videos was 32 minutes. A student who watched almost all the videos spent 29 on average after watching 6. For most of the students, they spent on average watching the videos between 18 and 35 minutes, etc. So as you can see, he started pinpointing which codes emerged from the data. So he's got lecturing time reduced and student autonomy, and he started color coding his own conclusions. Then, in order to quantify the activities done with the video, he transformed his initially made big chart, full of data, into a more condensed version of this data. So he identified 4 specific activities that students did with every grammar, which was taking notes, write down examples, exercises on video, and copy everything. And then he started marking with an X the students, what the activities that students had done with each one of the grammatical tenses. Right? In this chart, you can see that he identified number of activities and number of students out of 14 who did all of the activities. Or any of the activities, sorry, and so he coded them in here with some numbers. Once again, he started making conclusions, drawing conclusions out of the data. For example, the first conclusion is the most used strategy when watching the videos was note-taking. A green one is what students seem to dislike the most was copying everything. And so he identified 2 main codes, which are students' autonomy and dislike of traditional methods. So as you might see, the idea for all of this process is to reduce data. But you know this, right? You have advanced on this part up to now. So what do we do next? After we have had all of our data, we have coded it and we have tried to reduce and identify it, then what we do is that we make a chart, we make a graph. Yeah. So, for example, in Simon's case, this is the graph, which is the final research categories. So, he's got his research question here. What effects does flipping the grammar lessons through videos have in students' English in a 3rd semester English class at Unica? Then we have the 3 emerging categories from that question, the subcategories from that specific, from each one of the categories, and then the codes that we decide. So as you might notice, for example, student autonomy doesn't have any subcategories related because everything that was said or done by students in all of the instruments in regards to student autonomy was placed in a very general manner. There were no specifications as to specific terms such as self-efficacy or self-regulation or self-directed learning or any other terms that might fall within the autonomy category. So as there were no specificities, then we decided to just leave the category. Yeah. On the other hand, the category transformation of class dynamics evidenced 3 subcategories. So student-generated videos as a means of instruction, role of the teacher, and role of the student. So there were three different things, three different patterns that emerged in the data. So what do we do in the section to present, and what is triangulation and the purpose of this video? What we do is we present everything we found, right? So the section is as big as the number of categories that you have and the number of subcategories or codes that you have. So for example, here, Simone is going to start with the first category. So it's pre-service teachers grammar skills development. In this, we have a very brief introduction. That is, the first category refers to how flipping the grammar through videos aided to develop and refine future teachers' grammar skills. Within this category, two codes emerged: pre-service teachers as learners of grammar and pre-service teachers as teachers. The subcategories will be detailed in the subsections below. If you're still hesitant about how to organize that part of your paper, remember that in our course, in Coursites, there is a section called Writing Up Your Results section. And in this section, you have Writing Up Results paragraphs. These two slides can help you get an idea on the structure that you need to follow for this particular part of the paper. So as you can see, after the explanation of what the section should look like, you have an example. So we have something like this: awareness of the use of metacognitive strategies. That would be the title, that in the case of Simone's paper is Pre-Service Teachers Grammar Skills Development. Then we have the first category refers to, within this category, 4 codes emerge, right? So as you can see, the structure is very clear. This first category refers to, within this category, 2 codes emerged, and right? So it's pretty simple and easy to follow the structure. Luego, okay, then you move on to the paragraphs of presenting the subcategories. So this was the main category, let's say, and then we present the subcategories one by one. So it says use of reading comprehension strategies. You start the first paragraph by setting up the code, explaining the code and relevant information regarding this code. Then the paragraph 2 presents evidence. That is the part where we have the triangulation and the initial purpose of this video. These are quotes from the student journal, interviews, or teacher journal, the most relevant information that you found, hopefully more than just one type of evidence. This is how you evidence triangulation of the data. So I'm going to show you in Simone's example in a minute. Then paragraph 3 is a comment regarding the evidence. You can explain it or give it a little information, present your analysis and all the evidence of this particular code. Include a transition towards the next section, which will refer to the next code. So if you follow this structure, you will have a good section. So here we're presenting a subcategory, once again, where we say what we found. So in this case, the subcategory refers to how the future teachers in the study adopted the role of learners, and identify the importance of developing their grammar skills in both settings, inside the class and outside the class. Within this category, 2 main codes were identified: grammar through videos and grammar in class, and a quotation. Are quotations necessary in this section? No, but you can insert a few, just if you need them. So then you start developing. So for example, the first code here is grammar through videos, and this is what Simone is developing. So I'm going to read through it, and I'm going to show you the evidence from the different instruments, which evidences the triangulation of the data. As this research observed, the principles of the flipped approach videos were the main tools used as a means of providing direct grammar instruction to students through peer instruction. Students were expected to first create a video in order to teach a grammar structure to their classmates via peer instruction, then to watch their classmates' videos, and to complete an accountability activity. We have some more information. The grammar component of the class was flipped in the project, given the importance but also the time that it normally consumes. In the present project, students needed to watch a video at home about the grammar topic that was going to be covered the following day in class. The data collected shows the positive effect that flipping the grammar had on students' grammar learning, as is shown in the following excerpts. And then you start presenting your excerpts. Time is up. I have to make a new video.